Hello and welcome to Senior Wise Journey. Have you ever stood in a quiet room, once filled with the bustling energy of family, and felt a silence so profound it seems to have weight? You're not alone in feeling this. As we journey past our 60-second, 70-second, and beyond, the landscape of our lives changes. Children build their own worlds. Dear partners may have journeyed on, and the social calendars that once dictated our days begin to thin. It's a unique form of solitude, one that can creep in and make us feel like we've been left on the shore while the world's ships sail on. But I'm here to tell you that this chapter isn't an epilogue. It's a powerful new beginning waiting to be written. This isn't about simply coping or getting by. This is about embracing the quiet and turning it into a sanctuary for growth, reflection, and profound personal joy. Today, we will explore 5 transformative pillars, drawn from the deep well of elderly wisdom, to not just survive but to thrive in this sacred season of life alone. Yes, but magnificent in your sovereignty. Part 1. The Daily Anchor. Your personal North Star. When the external demands on our time fade away, the days can begin to feel like a long, untethered hallway. One day bleeds into the next, a shapeless expanse of time without the familiar signposts of a career, raising children, or caring for a spouse. This lack of structure is one of the most insidious thieves of vitality. It whispers a dangerous question in the quiet hours. Why bother? The answer, my friends, is not found in some grand new occupation, but in the creation of what I call a daily anchor. A daily anchor is a single, intentional, and consistent act that you perform for yourself at roughly the same time each day. It's deceptively simple, yet its impact on our mental and emotional well-being is monumental. This isn't about a rigid, demanding schedule. It's about a gentle, personal ritual that says, "My day has begun. I am present. I matter." Think of it as the North Star of your day. No matter how cloudy the sky or turbulent the waters, that one fixed point provides direction and stability. Why is this so powerful? Psychologically, it combats what experts call decision fatigue. When every moment is unstructured, the simple act of deciding what to do next can be draining. An anchor removes that initial burden. You don't have to wonder how to start your day. The anchor is there waiting. This simple act of repetition creates a neurological pathway, a loop of positive reinforcement that tells your brain, this is a good, safe, and meaningful thing to do. It restores a sense of agency, proving that you are still the captain of your own ship, even if the crew has changed. Let's move beyond the story of Carl and his porch tea, and consider a woman named Eleanor, a retired librarian of 88, living in a small apartment in Chicago. After her husband, Robert, passed away, the silence of their home was deafening. Robert had been the one who made the coffee, who read the newspaper aloud, whose very presence was the rhythm of her life. For a year, Eleanor felt adrift. Then, she remembered their shared love for classical music. She bought a small digital radio and made a new rule for herself. Every single morning at 8 a.m., she would tune into the local classical station, sit in her favorite armchair, and listen to the first 3 pieces of music. Truly listen, with her eyes closed. At first, it was just an act of discipline, but soon it became so much more. The music was her anchor. It was a connection to Robert, a continuation of their shared love. It became a sensory experience, the rich sound filling the apartment, the morning light filtering through the blinds. It was a non-negotiable appointment with beauty. Her neighbors in the apartment building started noticing the faint, elegant music coming from her door each morning. It became part of their rhythm, too. The woman next door mentioned how she loved hearing it as she got her own kids ready for school. Eleanor went from feeling like a ghost in her own home to being a source of quiet beauty in her small community. Your anchor can be anything that feels authentic to you. It could be a sensory anchor, the ritual of brewing a specific type of tea, savoring the aroma and warmth of the first cup. A movement anchor, a series of gentle stretches by an open window, feeling the morning air on your skin. It's not about exercise. It's about inhabiting your body with intention. A creative anchor. Writing a single paragraph in a journal. It doesn't have to be profound. It could be a memory, an observation about the weather, or a dream you had. A nature anchor. Stepping outside to water a single potted plant on your balcony or porch. Watching it grow and change is a powerful metaphor for your own continued life. An intellectual anchor. Solving one crossword or Sudoku puzzle with your breakfast. It's a gentle way to wake up your mind and feel a small sense of accomplishment. The key is consistency. This small act is a promise you keep to yourself. In a world that may no longer demand things from you, you are demonstrating that you still demand respect, care, and attention from the most important person in your life, yourself. It's the first, most crucial step in transforming solitude from a void into a space of sacred intention. Choose your anchor, make it non-negotiable. It is the first thread you use to reweave the beautiful tapestry of your day. Part 2. The lifeline of connection. Weaving a web of warmth. There is a pervasive and damaging myth in our society that, as we age, our need for connection diminishes. We're expected to become serene, self-contained figures, content to simply watch the world go by. This could not be further from the truth. The human heart, at any age, is wired for connection. In fact, as life strips away our former roles and responsibilities, the craving for genuine, human interaction can become even more acute. The second pillar of a thriving solitary life is to actively and regularly maintain your lifelines of connection. Living alone, it's easy to fall into the trap of passive waiting. You wait for the phone to ring, you wait for a letter to arrive, you wait for someone to remember. And when the silence stretches on, a harmful narrative can take root. I am a burden. They are too busy. I am no longer important. This belief is a poison to the soul. The antidote is to shift from being a passive recipient to an active initiator of connection. Let's be honest. Reaching out can be daunting. What if they don't answer? What if my call is an interruption? What if they sound rushed? These fears are valid, but they miss the most important point. The act of reaching out is as much for you as it is for them. It is an act of self-worth. It is you declaring, "My voice matters. My thoughts matter. My presence in this world still has weight, and I am going to share it." You cannot control how someone responds, but you have absolute control over keeping your side of the bridge open and well-maintained. Consider Arthur, an 85-year-old former mechanic living in rural Vermont. His children and grandchildren were scattered across the country, all leading busy, complicated lives. He felt their distance not as a rejection, but as a simple fact of modern life. Yet, the loneliness was a physical ache. He wasn't a man of many words and found long phone calls awkward. So, he devised his own system. Every Tuesday, he would send a simple text message to his granddaughter. It was never demanding. It would often just be a picture of a bird at his feeder, or a simple, "Hope you have a good week. Love, Grandpa." Some weeks, she'd reply instantly with a flurry of news. Other weeks, he'd get a simple, "You too," a day later. But it didn't matter. Arthur's Tuesday text was his lifeline. It kept him in the gentle current of her life. It was his way of saying, "I'm thinking of you." And in doing so, he reminded himself that he was a grandfather, a figure of love, a part of a family. He wasn't just an old man in a quiet house. He was an active participant in the story of his family, even from a distance. Giving connection is often more powerful than receiving it. It restores a sense of purpose. Think of Joyce from the video, whose weekly card writing habit filled her mailbox in return. This wasn't just about getting letters back. It was about the ritual of sitting down, thinking of someone, and putting pen to paper. It made her feel useful and engaged. Here are some modern ways to build and maintain your web of warmth. The thinking of you text, email. Like Arthur, a simple, no-pressure message can work wonders. A shared link to an article, a family photo, or a simple good morning keeps the connection alive without demanding a lengthy reply. Themed weekly calls. Instead of the generic "how are you" call, try creating a gentle theme. Tell me something good Tuesday, where you and a friend or family member only share one piece of good news from your week. Join an online community. Websites like Meetup or specialized forums for seniors offer book clubs, discussion groups, and hobby circles that take place entirely online. You can connect with people who share your passions from the comfort of your home. The power of voice. If texting feels impersonal, use the voice memo feature on your smartphone. Hearing a loved one's voice and allowing them to hear yours carries an emotional resonance that text cannot replicate. Volunteer from home. Many organizations need volunteers for tasks like making phone calls to other isolated seniors or writing letters to troops overseas. This provides connection with a powerful side of purpose. Connection is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Start small. Choose one person. Choose one method. Do it consistently. You are not just making a call or sending a message. You are actively weaving a safety net of human warmth that will catch you on the days you feel you might fall. Part 3. The comfort of gentle routines. The rhythm of self-care. Approximately 840 words. While a daily anchor is the single North Star that orients your day, gentle routines are the constellations that guide you through it. A routine is a sequence of actions, a quiet rhythm that carries you from sunrise to sunset. In the absence of external schedules, creating your own internal ones becomes an act of profound self-respect and a cornerstone of both mental and physical health. When we speak of routines for someone in their later years, we are not talking about the rigid, clock-punching schedules of midlife. We are talking about a gentle, flowing structure that provides predictability and comfort. The world can feel chaotic and uncertain, especially when you're navigating it alone. A personal routine is a way to exert positive control over your immediate environment, creating a sanctuary of stability that you can rely on day in and day out. Think about the science behind it. Our bodies and minds thrive on rhythm. Consistent sleep-wake cycles regulate our hormones and improve our mood. Regular mealtimes aid digestion and stabilize our energy levels. A predictable flow to the day reduces anxiety because our brain isn't constantly in a state of low-grade stress, wondering, what's next? This frees up mental energy that can be used for more creative and joyful pursuits. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 90-year-old retired nurse. She lived alone but possessed a vitality that defied her age. Her secret, she told me, was her bookend routines. Her days were flexible, but her mornings and evenings were sacred. Her morning routine was her gentle start. It began the moment her feet hit the floor. She would walk to the kitchen, drink a full glass of water, take her morning medication, and then spend 15 minutes by her window doing simple chair yoga stretches she'd learned from a YouTube video. After that, she would make her oatmeal and read a chapter of a book. This entire sequence took about an hour and was the same every single day. It was, she said, my way of reporting for duty to myself. Her evening routine, her gentle close, was just as important. Around 8:30 p.m., she would turn off the television, dim the lights, and put on soft jazz music. She would prepare and drink a cup of non-caffeinated herbal tea, tidy up any clutter from the day, and lay out her clothes for the next morning. Her final act was to write down one thing in a small notebook that she was grateful for that day. This, she explained, clears the slate and prevents the worries of the world from following me to bed. These routines were her fence posts, just like the man in the video described. They protected her well-being. They ensured she took her medication on time, stayed hydrated, moved her body, and nourished her mind and spirit. They were a non-verbal declaration that her health and peace were a top priority. Building your own gentle routines doesn't have to be complicated. Consider these building blocks. A morning routine. This sets the tone for the entire day. It could include hydration, a glass of water before anything else. Movement, simple stretches, a short walk. Nourishment, a healthy, consistent breakfast. Mindfulness, A few moments of quiet reflection, prayer, or meditation. A midday routine. This can prevent the afternoon slump. It could be a no-screen hour for lunch, a 20-minute nap or quiet rest period. The daily walk to the mailbox, expanded into a stroll around the block. An evening routine. This prepares you for restful sleep. It could involve reducing screen time an hour before bed, listening to calming music or an audiobook, a warm bath or shower, a simple act of tidying to wake up to a peaceful space. Your routines are a form of deep and abiding self-care. They are the framework upon which a meaningful day is built. They are the quiet, consistent friend who shows up every morning and every evening to say, "You are cared for, you are safe." Let's make this day and this night count. Part 4. The magic of micro-interactions. Defeating the invisibility cloak. One of the most painful aspects of loneliness in later life isn't the physical solitude. It's the creeping feeling of becoming invisible. The world seems to rush past, focused on its own urgent business. And it's easy to feel that you are no longer seen, heard, or acknowledged. The wonderful news is that the remedy for this doesn't require joining big social clubs or attending crowded events. The cure can be found in the art of the micro-interaction. A micro-interaction is a brief, low-stakes, positive social exchange with another human being. It's the small, everyday encounters that we often take for granted, but that collectively form a powerful web of social connection. These moments are the antidote to invisibility. They are fleeting, yet they send a powerful message to our psyche. I am here. I am seen. I am part of the fabric of this community. When you live alone, it's easy to adopt an errand mindset. You go to the grocery store with your head down, focused on your list. You pick up your prescription with minimal conversation. You get the mail and head straight back inside. By doing this, we inadvertently wrap ourselves in an invisibility cloak. The magic happens when we decide to take it off, even for a moment. Let's talk about Samuel, a retired history professor of 82. He was a naturally introverted man, and after his wife passed, his world shrank to the four walls of his house. He felt himself fading. He decided to conduct a small experiment. He gave himself a mission: to have one genuine, albeit brief, conversation with a stranger each day. He started at his local coffee shop. Instead of just ordering his black coffee, he made eye contact with the young barista and asked, "What's the most interesting coffee you've made today?" The question startled the young woman out of her robotic routine. She smiled and told him about a lavender latte someone had ordered. They chatted for no more than 90 seconds. But as Samuel walked away with his coffee, he felt a spark of warmth. The next day, he commented on the beautiful roses in his neighbor's yard as she was gardening. The day after, he asked the librarian for a recommendation instead of just using the self-checkout. Each interaction was tiny, yet their cumulative effect was transformative. Samuel stopped being the old man who lives in the corner house and became Samuel, the gentleman who asks interesting questions. He started to feel like a character in the story of his town again, not just a spectator. These micro-interactions recharged his social battery without draining it. They reminded him that his curiosity, his kindness, and his presence mattered. He was no longer invisible because he refused to be. You can practice the art of micro-interaction anywhere. At the grocery store, instead of just checking out, ask the cashier, "Has it been a busy day for you?" Or compliment the bagger on their efficiency. On your daily walk, make it a point to look up, smile, and offer a genuine good morning to those you pass. Comment on their beautiful dog or their child's colorful coat. With service people, thank your mail carrier for their work, especially on a hot or cold day. Ask your pharmacist if they're having a good week. At the library or senior center, you don't have to join a long class. Simply sitting in a common area and being open to conversation can lead to these small, warm exchanges. The compliment mission. Give yourself the goal of giving one sincere compliment a day. That's a beautiful scarf. I love the color of your car. You have such a friendly smile. These are not grand gestures. They are tiny sparks of light, but when you create enough of them, they illuminate your entire world. They remind you that you are not forgotten, that a simple hello can bridge the gap between isolation and community. You don't have to wait for an invitation to the party. You can create your own little pockets of warmth and connection everywhere you go. Take off the invisibility cloak. The world is waiting to see you. Part 5. Forging Purpose in the Everyday. The Dignity of Doing. Of all the challenges that come with living alone in our later years, perhaps the most profound is the search for purpose. The roles that defined us for decades, parent, spouse, employee, provider, may have fallen away. The house that once buzzed with the purpose of raising a family is now quiet. It's in this quiet that we face the existential question, what am I for now? The fifth and most vital pillar is to understand that purpose doesn't retire. It simply changes its costume. It is found not in grand, sweeping gestures, but in the quiet dignity of daily, meaningful doing. Purpose in this chapter of life is an inside job. It's about creating meaning for yourself, by yourself. It's the why that gets you out of bed in the morning. And that why doesn't need to be impressive to anyone else. It only needs to feel real and significant to you. This is where we shift from passively passing the time to actively inhabiting our lives. Think of Harold from the video, who planted tomatoes on his windowsill not because he was a master gardener, but because it gave him a reason to open the curtains. That small act of nurturing something outside of himself reconnected him to the cycle of life. It was a daily affirmation that growth was still possible, that something beautiful could still begin, even in the autumn of his life. Those tomatoes were his purpose. Finding your new purpose is a journey of rediscovery. It's about listening to the quiet whispers of your own heart. What have you always wanted to do but never had the time for? What small act brings you a sense of satisfaction? Purpose can be found in 4 main realms. The realm of nurturing. This is the purpose found in caring for something. It could be a small pet, a collection of houseplants, a small garden plot, or even feeding the birds in your backyard. The act of being responsible for the well-being of another living thing is a powerful antidote to feeling useless. The realm of creativity. Your life is a library of stories, experiences, and emotions. Tapping into this is a profound purpose. Write your story. You don't have to write a full memoir. Start a journal of memories. Write letters to your grandchildren about your childhood. Your history is a treasure. Create with your hands. Take up knitting, painting, woodworking, or model building. The focus required for crafts is a form of meditation, and the finished product is a tangible result of your time and skill. The realm of learning. The brain is a muscle that thrives on new challenges. Purpose can be found in the joy of discovery. Become a student again. Online platforms like Coursera or the Great Courses offer university-level lectures on any topic imaginable, often for free. Learn about Roman history, art appreciation, or quantum physics. Learn a new skill. Use YouTube tutorials to learn how to play the ukulele, speak a few phrases in Spanish, or master a new cooking technique. The realm of legacy. This is the purpose found in organizing and sharing your life's wisdom. Organize your photographs. Curate your family history, labeling photos and creating albums. This is a priceless gift for future generations. Become a mentor. Offer your life experience to a younger person through organizations like SCORE, Service Corps of Retired Executives, or simply by being a listening ear for a young neighbor or family member. Let's consider Maria, an 81-year-old woman who had spent her life as a homemaker. Her purpose had always been her family. When her husband passed and her children were long grown, she felt adrift. One day, sorting through old recipes, she realized she held a legacy in her hands. Generations of family cooking. Her new purpose was born. She bought a beautiful notebook and began to carefully transcribe each recipe, adding a short story or memory associated with it. This was your grandfather's favorite cake, which I baked for him every birthday for 47 years. We made these cookies every Christmas Eve with you and your brother. This project took her a year. It gave her a reason to get up. It filled her days with memories and love. When she was finished, she had created a family heirloom, a cookbook filled not just with instructions, but with the very flavor of their family's love. She had found a new way to be a mother and a wife. Her purpose hadn't vanished, it had transformed. Your purpose is not out there waiting to be found. It is in here, waiting to be created. It's in the small daily acts of nurturing, creating, learning, and sharing. It is the dignity of doing. It is the ultimate declaration that your life still has value, still has movement, and still has more to give. To reach your 82nd and 92nd is a quiet triumph, a testament to a life fully lived. But as we've explored, this triumph can be shadowed by a solitude that feels profound. The true wisdom of this journey, the secret of the senior wise journey, is recognizing that being alone does not mean your value has diminished. On the contrary, your independence is your strength. The power to shape your days now rests entirely in your own capable hands. By creating a daily anchor, actively weaving a web of connection, embracing gentle routines, seeking out micro-interactions, and forging purpose in the everyday, you do more than just survive. You embark on a new and beautiful adventure of self-discovery. You turn solitude into a sanctuary. You are the author, the artist, and the architect of this precious chapter. Your life still matters immensely. Your voice still deserves to be heard. You are still here, and that, my friend, is a victory worth celebrating every single day. Thank you for joining us on the Senior Wise journey. If these words resonated with you, please give this video a like, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiration. Your story is important, and we are honored to be a small part of it.